Want a story from the 90s? I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah. Let's roll. Well, my wife got called into work tonight, so I figured why waste the time that she's gone and not make a video? Because I try and use all my time when she's home to be with her and not dismiss her, because I'm gone at work all day anyhow. So I figured, might as well tell you a story from back in the 90s. The greatest decade ever, in my opinion. Had a lot of good times. So this is another Breaking Curfew episode. And for this episode, it's about my best friend's twin brother. Well, not his twin, but he had older brothers that were twins. And the one twin was annoying as shit and used to torment us all the time, and he'd always get his ass kicked for it. And we'll call that twin Todd. He'll be Todd for this episode. Picture this guy on Tony's face, about 20 years younger than that, but just as fat. Let's get to the story. Do me a favor, subscribe please. Oh yeah? So old Todd over here, he was a wrestler in high school for all of 1 year. So he thought that he could take any of us. Even though we were just about the same size, he had like 100 pounds on us. So if he got a hold of you, he kind of had, I'm going to use 90s language here, retard strength. And like really couldn't control, his body. It just kind of went wherever on its own. So he would unintentionally hurt people. Well, we were over at my friend's house, my best friend's house, where Todd here lived. And first of all, I'm going to give you a layout of the house. It's an old Victorian style house. You walk in, it's got beautiful wood floors. To your right, you've got, what do they call them? French doors. Like nice wooden French doors with glass in the middle. That led to the living room. If you went straight ahead, after you walked in the front door, you had a little kitchen. It was almost like something you see in a slave movie type kitchen. It was small. It wasn't like the most up-to-date thing in the world. But if you went to your left, as soon as you walked in the house, there was this gorgeous banister, and it was a staircase that went up, turned to the right, and then went up again to the second floor. Once you got up there, if you went to the left, and then another left, and then a right, I'm sorry this is confusing, but trust me, you'll want to know, because there was a path we had to take. If you went out there, there was not really a balcony, but it was kind of like a separate room that stuck off the house a little bit, and it had windows all around it that you could open up, kind of like just to sit out there and get fresh air and be by yourself type of thing. Well, if you went to the end of that, you could get onto the roof through the window. So my friend and I are upstairs in his room, just chilling, listening to music, whatever. We decide we're going to go down and get something to eat. So as we get to the top of the stairs, my friend goes down first. I'm right behind him. And old Todd here, he's coming up the stairs. And right when I'm about to take my first step on the stairs, he acts like a macho man wrestler wannabe and grabs the back of my legs, like trying to take me down. So at 15 years old, I'm already 6'1", Okay. And this guy's like, I don't know, 5'10". But when he did that, he put his head to the side of my legs like an idiot. So all I did, and these were carpeted stairs that went down the staircase. All I did was just put him in a headlock, sit down, and I rode his head all the way down both flights of stairs. Like, got down to the end. He tried to pick me up again. I sat down again and rode him the rest of the way down. And we got down to the very bottom. And we kind of just looked at each other like, I knew I fucked up. He knew he fucked up, but he wasn't going to take that from someone that was like 2 years younger than him. And he just screams. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Goonies, but he screams a Goonie scream. And I knew shit. When he made this noise, you knew that he could not control himself. And he was like gonna freak out. So I run back up the stairs, and he's right behind me, huffing and puffing, trying to catch his breath, with a big red mark all across his forehead from rug burn from running me riding down his head. I get up there, I go into that one room that I was telling you about that led out onto the roof, and I'm trying to get the window open. I finally get it open. I get out on the roof thinking he's not going to follow me. He does. He follows me out on the roof, and they had just been doing some kind of repairs on, because it led to the roof went down, and then it led to the roof going over the garage. And they had a ladder propped up to the roof because they had been doing some work on it or something the last couple days. So I see the ladder and I'm like, oh, hell yeah. And my friend, it's almost like we're telepathic, because he followed his brother up the stairs. And as soon as his brother went out on the roof, he closed the window and locked it so he couldn't get back in. So I see the ladder. I'm like, here's my chance. I climb down the ladder, pull it away. He's stuck on the roof. We're in the middle of town. I mean, I grew up in the middle of town. So there's houses everywhere. And they're only maybe, I don't know, 40 feet apart from each other. And he's in boxer shorts and nothing else. And this dude's body was nothing that anybody wanted to look at. I mean, he had roll after roll after roll, pasty white skin, and he's up on this roof, and we're just laughing our asses off. We know that revenge is going to come back on us, but, you know, we're 14, 15 years old. We don't care. And this almost adult is stuck on the roof, just screaming that he's going to murder us. And the whole neighborhood can hear it. People are driving by, honking their horn. He's like Donkey Kong up on the roof, because, I mean, we would have jumped off the roof because it was only maybe 8-9 feet up in the air. But he knew if he jumped off it, he was so uncoordinated, he would have snapped both his legs and probably his neck. So we left, came back an hour and a half later, and he was still on the roof screaming. And then his mom pulls in. We got in trouble. He got in trouble. It all worked out in the end because he didn't retaliate, because she kind of warned him not to. But, yeah. Fucking Todd. It was a fun time growing up in the 90s. I mean, you could do shit like that. The only downside is we didn't have cell phones then, so we didn't have cameras. It's just all in here. And I think it's almost better because I can pull that memory up just like a picture whenever I want. It never changes. And I can hear the audio in it. Everything. I mean, we would have filmed the shit out of him. I should have gone over to my house and got our camcorder. We had one of those old camcorders that you held on your shoulder. And I should have videoed him. It would have been great. We did use that camcorder, like eventually a couple years later. And all of us friends shot like this fake Star Wars type movie in my other friend's backyard. And just as a comedy movie. It was pretty funny, but I mean, we were shooting stuffed animals with bows and arrows like they were whatever those little bears are in Star Wars, that Ewoks. Yeah, we were shooting those. The dumb thing is we put some of them on top of the propane tank and we were shooting them off the propane tank. But that's teenage thinking for you. You're not really thinking that, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to do that. But that's another story for another time. I just figured I'd use this time to tell you a funny memory from the past. In the greatest decade ever. So, hope you're good. Stay sinful. Stay safe. I'll probably make a video tomorrow. Peace.